Alaves' draw with Mallorca last week saw them drop back into the bottom three. This week, they hosted Atletico at the Mendizorroza, knowing only a win would do. Alaves put Atletico's defence under pressure early on. Rodolfo Bedipo hitting the post. Atletico have had another inconsistent season, but they still have faint hopes of a UEFA Cup place. A superb free kick from Antonio Lopez put them ahead. This is the Spanish international's third goal of the season. Alaves was soon back on the attack. Bedipo again unlucky. Atletico took their lead into the second half. And the chances continued to fall Atletico's way. They just couldn't find the finish. Alaves hadn't won in their previous 4 matches. Some brave defending kept out John Aloisi, and that bad run looked like continuing. Into the closing stages, and a final chance for Alaves. They couldn't take it. Relegation now looking all the more likely. League leaders Barcelona were hoping to move within touching distance of a second successive title away to Sevilla this week. However, the south of Spain was hit by extreme weather, completely flooding the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan Stadium. The referee delayed his decision as long as possible, but despite attempting to clear the water himself, the match was postponed. In the north of Spain, bright sunshine as Athletic played host to second-place Valencia. Valencia trail Barcelona by 8 points and are technically still in the title race. They had an early chance through David Villa. Villa is Valencia's top scorer and star of their season. He could have had a hat-trick inside the opening minutes. With the score still level, Athletic went on the attack. Ismail Urzaif denied by the frame of the goal. Athletic kept the tempo up after half-time. But Canizares was equal to Urzaif's shot. Athletic still have the threat of a first-ever relegation hanging over them. Canizares made a mess of Fernando Llorente's shot, but somehow the ball stayed out. It seemed only a matter of time before the home side could break the deadlock. Their search for a goal, though, left them vulnerable at the back. Villa putting Valencia in front with just 10 minutes left. And moments later, Villa had claimed a second to make it 2-0. With defeat now certain, Athletic were in disarray. Villa sealing an incredible 5-minute hat-trick, his first for the club, and his 25th goal of the season. So 3-0 the final score, a memorable day for David Villa. Athletic left. In Italy, Juventus may be top of the league, but they give the impression of a club in crisis. 4 straight draws and a Champions League exit have put coach Fabio Capello under pressure. Patrick Vieira almost put Juve ahead against Lazio. The Rome side were under pressure for much of the first half, but Goran Pandev caught Juve on the break. Tommaso Rocchi with the finish. Lazio were then unlucky to have a shot by Ousmane Dabo ruled out for offside. Dabo was soon sent off for Lazio. Pavel Nedved did his best to salvage a draw for Juventus. Last week they had to wait until the 5th minute of injury time to equalise against Cagliari. This time, David Trezeguet scored with 3 minutes still to play. But another draw for Juve. Milan had a chance to close the gap on Juve when they travelled to Messina. It was an incident-packed match. The Sicilian team took the lead thanks to Giuseppe Scully. Marek Jankulovski came on as an early sub for Milan. The Czech equalised for the Rossoneri. Just before the break, Milan struck again. Gennaro Gattuso with a fine shot. Messina made it tougher for themselves when Antonio Nocerino received a red card. And he was followed by Giuseppe Scully. Milan exploited the space. Gilardino with Milan's third. And there was still time for Salvatore Aronica and Clarence Seedorf to get red-carded as well.
Second-placed Hamburger had a great chance to put pressure on leaders Bayern München when they played Bayer Leverkusen. A win would close the gap to just a point with Bayern playing the next day. Ailton went so close for Hamburger early on. But Bayer have some great attacking talent of their own. Dimitar Berbatov with the build-up. And Simon Rolfs the finish. Hamburger had a number of chances to equalise, including this by Sergei Barbares. But Hans-Jörg Butt was on form for Bayer. Hamburger were made to pay for their profligacy. Paul Fryer adding a late second for Bayer Leverkusen. So Bayern München had a chance to extend their lead when they played lowly Mainz. 9 minutes gone and an early shock for the champions-elect. Mohamed Zidane with a great goal. Bayern looked lethargic. Just 4 minutes later, they were 2 goals down. Manuel Friedrich with the goal for Mainz. Roy Mackay was a shock omission from the Netherlands' preliminary World Cup squad announced earlier this week. His response was emphatic. Before half-time, Mackay was felled by Niklas Noveski. Mackay showing his cool. A point saved for Bayern.
The first legs were held in midweek, with Feyenoord travelling to the Amsterdam Arena. Ajax soon made home advantage count, Argentinian Mauro Rosales putting them ahead. Delight for Danny Blind. When Ajax take on Feyenoord, it's often a heated affair. This was no different. A second yellow card for Feyenoord's Andre Bayer ended his match. Shortly after, Ajax's Steven Pienaar followed him. A sad end to the South African's Ajax career. Both teams were now down to 10, and it was Ajax who went further ahead. Johnny Heitinga making it 2-0. Moments later, that became 3. Klaas-Jan Huntelaar with his 40th of the season. In the closing stages, another blow for Feyenoord. Romeo Castellan sent off. So 3-0 it finished, Ajax with a healthy first leg lead. In the other playoff semi-final, AZ were away to Groningen, who finished the season almost 20 points below them. After a quiet first half, Groningen looked stronger after the break. Yuri Cornelissen with the goal. In the closing stages, they doubled their advantage. Mark Flederus this time. with a minute to go, Rasmus Lindgren spectacularly made it 3. Joyous scenes around the ground. Louis van Gaal's AZ looked convincingly beaten. In injury time, though, Kujalians grabbed them a lifeline. 3-1 the final score, with Groningen be left to rue that late away goal. The second legs were held at the weekend, and Ajax were soon picking up from where they left off. Again, Mauro Rosales opened the scoring for the Amsterdam team. Klaas-Jan Huntelaar received his first call-up to the national team squad this week. He celebrated in style with Ajax's second. 5-0 on aggregate now. The Feyenoord fans knew the game was up. Into the second half, and the Ajax pressure continued. Norin Bukhari's brave header made it 3-0. As Danny Blind looked on, his players took their eye off the ball. And Feyenoord pulled a goal back through Dirk Kuyt. That only spurred Ajax on. A great move finished by Romanian Nicolae Mitea for 4-1. Kuyt, though, wasn't giving up. Feyenoord star of the season, grabbing his second and 25th of the campaign. At 4-2 it finished. Joy for Ajax, who make it through to the final. Feyenoord's season ends in disaster. At the Ahmadahoud, AZ faced Groningen full of confidence after that vital first leg away goal. And they took the lead on the day through Danny Koevermans. They continued to push forward after the break. And they were quickly rewarded. Shota Avalanche making it 2-0. AZ now ahead on away goals. Moments later, a hopeful punt into the AZ box. And Danny Boyce headed Groningen back in front on aggregate. That's how it finished. Groningen's 4-3 aggregate win means they will take on Ajax for a Champions League place. For AZ, another season that promised so much ends badly.